Do we love Wednesdays? Sure. Yes, we love Wednesdays. Why do we love Wednesdays? That is still procedure, that's right. That's why we're today. Today, oh, I have so much in store for you guys. You're gonna love it. Today, I'm going to continue in my mission to make you the hero clerk for your law firm that you work for over the summer by talking extensively about summary judgment motions and responses there too. But first, what is happening in your legal universe? Well, I thought that some of you might derive some joy out of someone winning a lawsuit against the LSAT. Yeah. So, everybody remember the LSAT? Did you all take that?
Never heard of it.
Did you enjoy it?
Your law student gets a major victory before you even get a chance to practice law. It's a landmark case that will now change how students everywhere are going to be evaluated. Mark Bell live downtown tonight with a historic ruling, Mark.
It is evident. It's a case that's been fought out in federal court for years. Take a look. This is a practice test for the LSAT. It's part of the logic portion of the test. You see these gaps here? That's for drawing diagrams. Kind of hard to do. You're blind.
Because I can't see the draw.
And the response for the last 8 years from everybody, from the Bar Association to the test master, was tough luck for you. So he sued, and he won.
You know, what was amazing about this case, and what maybe took it a little while longer to settle, is Angela insisted that a settlement in this case wouldn't just be planned, that it would literally apply to everybody in the United States.
The makers of the LSAT have 48 months to change the test. No more drawing pictures, which went like this.
A, B, C, D, and E going to a bar, E is next to A, and A is next to B, and C must be two spaces over from E, where is D? And I've never had to answer a question like that in any state or federal court, but that's how we're deciding to figure out what's wrong.
After all the court fights and test changes, it will likely be 10 years for Bino. You take the LSAT.
Yes. And I will pass.
Jason Turkish, his attorney, who has a long history of civil rights victories, is also severely sight impaired.
I know I'm better lawyer because of my vision, because it gives me a perspective. Because when I go to federal court, I understand the challenges that my clients face. I know how difficult it is. I know that it's hard to want to achieve something and be held back solely because of your vision.
Back live, an interesting footnote to all of this. Turkish is the second attorney to handle this case. The first, Michigan's blind Supreme Court Justice, Richard Bernstein, who had to give the case up once he went to the Supreme Court bench. We're live downtown tonight. I'm Mara McDonald.
All right, so in addition to this being sort of a gratifying victory for those of you who hated the LSAT, I hated the LSAT. Worst test I took in my life. The bar exam, nobody knows what you get on it, right? So I just tell everybody I got 100% on the bar exam. Nobody knows any different. But in addition to the satisfaction of having won a victory over the LSAT, procedurally what's interesting about the case is you do what they said, it's going to take 10 years from the time that they filed the case to when the final result happens. The changes are made in the LSAT that relieve test takers of these horrible diagram logic problems. Right? How did a civil case like this take 10 years? How does that happen? Let's think about, ignore what's on the board for a minute. Let's think about what happens in a civil case. Right? You file the complaint, then there's dispositive motions. What are dispositive motions? Motions to dismiss and hearing ends. And what else? What else is a dispositive motion? What? Oh, yeah. Motion for summary judgment. Good. We're going to talk a lot more about that today. On Friday. And then maybe the plaintiff survives all the dispositive motions, and then what happens? Well, they've already been through discovery by the time they get through summary judgment, probably, right? Well, yeah, there's a big discovery period. How long does discovery take? Can discovery take 2 years? Sure it can. Can it take longer than 2 years? Sure it can. Sure. And let's assume you go to trial. You win the trial, and what's going to happen after you win the trial? Probably going to be appealed, right? How long does an appeal take, do you think? Just like I tell my legal writing students, you have very strict deadlines as to when you must turn in your brief. Does the court have a strict deadline as to when it must get its opinion back to you? You're at their mercy. Can it take a year? Sure. Can it take 2 years? Sure. Right? So all those time periods add up. And what if on appeal, the Court of Appeal says, no, that was something wrong happened below. And we're going to reverse the case and we're going to send it back down and you have to have another trial. Start back at square one. You've done your discovery and everything. But you got to go through another trial. And that's another year. Sure. So it piles up. But I got curious about this one. And it turns out this is a bit from the conclusion in the Sixth Circuit on the news story that we just watched, Mr. Bino's case. And what they say here is that the case, which was originally filed in 2011, was actually filed against the wrong defendant, right? That being the American Bar Association. What Judge Daughtry says here, we are left puzzled by Bino's failure to litigate against the LSAT rather than the ADA. For those of you that are far enough along in common law, this is a standing issue. ADA is not the right defendant. They don't administer the LSAT. They don't do that. So about 6 of those 10 years were spent litigating against the wrong instance. How could he then turn around after those 6 years at the trial court, appealing up to the Court of Appeals, then asking the United States Supreme Court to review the case, and the United States Supreme Court says no. You fully and finally lost the case against the ADA. How can you then turn around and file against the LSAC? How is that possible? Has he already given up the opportunity or blown the statute of limitations or something? Just think about that. What's the statute of limitations blown on this? It's right there. How do you turn around and file another lawsuit against the LSAC?
Well, isn't there kind of like a new claim if you go, like, so if he wants to take the LSAT again, doesn't that create a new claim?
That's right. It's an ongoing injury. It's an ongoing injury. They're still doing the wrong thing. It's still affecting him. Okay? He still can't take the test because of his disability. So statute of limitations is not an issue. Interesting stuff. If you don't think that you will spend 10 years of your life litigating one case, well, we'll see. All right, summary judgment. summary judgment. The thing that you are going to be doing a lot of if you work for the civil litigation firm. How many of you have already worked on a response to a motion for summary judgment or a motion for summary judgment? Yeah, a bunch of you. Because this is the stuff that we like to voice off for law courts. So it might be good for you to know what you're doing when you inevitably get this assignment. You will if you're working in a civil litigation firm. Those of you that are planning to go into criminal practice have already checked out a long time ago. So where are we in this process? We file our complaint? Well, actually, let's start with the defense act. You've been served with a complaint. But man, I sure would like to get rid of this complaint. File, motion to dismiss. Motion to dismiss is denied. Now we gotta do discovery. Okay? Go through discovery. Do all the wonderful things that we talked about. Depositions, interrogatories, requests for admissions. Get to the end of your discovery period. You're like, now I'm gonna try again to get rid of this case. That's what the motion for summary judgment is about. You got that from your reading, right? We know where we are. We're oriented in time and space. Yes? Question about where we are. What's the standard here? How do you get summary judgment? Keep your defense hat on for a minute. You really want to get rid of that case. So what do you have to show the court? Complete that sentence. You get summary judgment. You get to win your case on summary judgment if what? Yes?
First, you have to show that there's no genuine dispute to any material fact.
No genuine dispute to any material fact. Where did you get that?
From SRC.
So again?
From Rule 56.
Rule 56, A, the very first little part of that. Right? You get summary judgment, there's no genuine dispute of any material fact, no genuine issue of material fact. Okay? Remember that, make that your mantra. That's important, that's the magic language, the beginning of the magic language for summary judgment. How do you do that? Well, that's a lot of what we're going to talk about. Let's first talk about when you can do it. What is the earliest time in the federal court that you can move for summary judgment?
30 days after the political discovery.
That's the earliest time you can move for summary judgment? It's not very early. What's the earliest time you can move for summary judgment in your federal court? Respond to a complaint. Is that so? Don't you have to file a motion to dismiss? You have to file a motion to dismiss first. You're telling me that a day after you get served with a complaint, you can just file a motion for summary judgment? You trying to get rid of it? Who says yes? Who says no? Good. Anytime, right? Anytime after the complaint is filed, you can file a motion for summary judgment. Why would you do that as opposed to filing a motion to dismiss? In some ways, it's helpful to understand what a motion for summary judgment is in terms of what a motion to dismiss is not. That makes sense. What are you saying with a motion to dismiss? What does a motion to dismiss do in essence?
Well, I could be wrong, but I think.
We all could, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, like, I'm not saying anything. But I think that, because the motion to dismiss gets rid of it, but they can file, whereas the summary judgment actually has judgment on the issue. And if you've got money for damages, then now you still get maybe a ruling on that potentially? Or not, just gonna think about it.
Let's back up. Let's back up. Consider my question first. What are you saying on a motion to dismiss? What are you trying to establish? Kelsey.
There's something wrong with the complaint, there's no jurisdiction, there is no claim.
Maybe. Whose facts are you using in a motion to dismiss? Exactly. Plaintiff's facts. Right? Plaintiff says in a complaint, here's all the bad stuff that happened. And in a motion to dismiss, remember, think back to a couple weeks ago where you're saying a motion to dismiss. Okay, fine. Even if all that stuff happened exactly the way that you say it happened in your complaint, my client still wins. Okay? You're playing exclusively on their turf. My client still wins. How's that different from a summary judgment motion?
Summary judgment facts about discovery and not intellectual property.
That's right. Did you hear him? Think about it this way, usually, right? This is the way that happens. You've gone through a whole period of discovery. Interrogatories, you've taken depositions, you've got requests for admissions responses, you've got some documents from the other side, you've got all this stuff that establishes a factual record. There's a record in the case now, right? It's not just playing on the plaintiff's turf. There's a record in the case. You're saying, well, based on that record, there's no genuine issue of material fact. There's no genuine dispute of material fact. Any disputes that we have are trivial and not worth a jury's time. See the difference between those two things? Motion to dismiss, playing exclusively on the plaintiff's turf. We have to assume things are as the plaintiff says they are. The motion for summary judgment, you're saying, actually, here are the real facts of the case. And what the real facts of the case show. All the deposition testimony, these interrogatory responses, all the wonderful discovery things that we've done. What we've actually found out, Your Honor, is that there's nothing worth taking to a jury here. You see the fundamental difference between those two things? Does it make sense? Because if it doesn't, we can't keep going. Can we keep going? Can a plaintiff file a motion for summary judgment? Who says yes? Nobody says no, right? Plaintiff can. Who's more likely to file a motion for summary judgment? Plaintiff or defendant? The defendant, we've been talking in terms of the defense motion for summary judgment. We'll continue to talk in terms of the defense motion for summary judgment, but why? Why is the defendant more likely to file a motion for summary judgment? Well, you got a clever answer, I think. The little hours. The little hours, he said. How cynical. How cynical. Well, what's the reason? Beyond billable hours. Let's think about it. I represent, or Mr. McCoy, was smashed over the head with a beer bottle. Allegedly, exactly, smashed over the head. That's my point. He was smashed over the head with a beer bottle by Mr. Hatfield. We go through discovery, get through our dispositive motions, and we go to trial. And based on the record that we've developed in discovery, it seems pretty clear that the defendant is liable for smashing my guy over the head with a beer bottle. Who's got the burden of proof at trial? Even if it's crystal clear from discovery that he crashed my guy over the head. I never filed a motion for summary judgment as a plaintiff. Waste of time, I want to go to trial. Who's got the burden of proof at trial? Right. That's simple, right? It's not a trick question. Who's got the burden of proof at trial, Seth? The plaintiff. The plaintiff has the burden of proof at trial. If you read Celotax, right, that matters. Everybody read Celotax, right? You know what I'm talking about. We'll get more into that next week. I can say next week on Friday, we'll get more into it. In Celotax, Justice Rehnquist is saying the plaintiff still has the burden of going forward with this enough. The plaintiff still has the burden of proof at trial. So they got to show evidence. They got to show something to suggest that he did something. Now, the defendant does not have the burden of proof on the main issues of the trial. And so it makes sense for them to volley it to the plaintiff to say, look, we don't think you can prove your case in trial. You have to prove your case. Because the plaintiff always has the burden of proof at trial. You have to prove it, and we don't think you can. That's what a motion for summary judgment says. That makes sense? Go ahead, let's keep going. If you argue issues of fact, you can argue issues of fact in a motion to dismiss. I mean, you can argue issues of fact. But you are stuck with the plaintiff's facts. You can argue that the facts set forth by the plaintiff, combined with the applicable law, means that the plaintiff can't win. That's how you argue facts in a motion to dismiss. Let's go back to Rule 12D. Rule 12D does an interesting thing. Rule 12D says, if in a motion to dismiss, you need to pay attention to this if you draft a motion to dismiss. If in your motion to dismiss you go beyond what the plaintiff has set forth in the complaint, if you start arguing facts that don't show up in the complaint, what happens? Back that up. You draft a motion to dismiss. You argue facts that are not in the complaint. Then what is the court going to do with that motion to dismiss?
The motion must be treated for a summary judgment.
They're going to treat that motion like it's a summary judgment motion. Right? That's what 12D does. And hopefully that illustrates the difference between a motion to dismiss and a motion to summary judgment. You step outside of what's in the pleadings. Right? Step outside of that complaint. Start arguing about facts that aren't in the record yet. Right off the bat, the motion to dismiss. The court's going to say, no, that's a motion for summary judgment. We're going to treat that like it's a motion for summary judgment. You've got your defense hat on. Why might you not want to do that? Why might you not want the court to treat your motion like it's a motion for summary judgment? Yeah.
Is it that later in discovery, facts come out that would allow you to file for a motion for summary judgment, you've already kind of used that?
Which is okay if you're in a jurisdiction that allows you to file multiple summary judgments. Right? If your court is okay with you filing summary judgment after summary judgment after summary judgment, which some defendants do, right? Then that's okay. But if you're in one of those courts that limits you, we talked about this before, limits you to only filing one motion for summary judgment, if you're limited by local rule, you might not want to use that right at the very beginning of litigation. Jessica.
In a motion to dismiss, if that's a motion where you're having to assume that plaintiff's facts are true, then in a motion for summary judgment where it's only based on the factual record that's been established through discovery, it's basically like those assumptions are in the factual record.
Kind of. We're getting it. Yeah, we're getting it. There's a way to look at that too. Okay, so what if? So put your plaintiff's hat on. You get hit with a motion to dismiss. Let's not even make it that complicated. What if you get hit right off the bat with a motion for summary judgment? 2 days after you file your complaint. Does this happen? Sure, it happens. You get hit with a motion for summary judgment. That's the first procedural device that the defendant uses to say, no, we don't want this case anymore. Make the case go away, Your Honor. Motion for summary judgment. Motion for summary judgment says not that there's some defect in the pleading, but that there's no genuine issue of material fact. The jury can never possibly decide this. Okay? How do you respond? We haven't had time to do discovery. I just filed my complaint. I haven't taken any depositions. I haven't tendered any interrogatories. I don't know anything about the factual disputes in this case. How do you deal with that? You read Rule 56, so you know. Also, it's on the board. Okay.
Look at Rule 56, if like facts aren't available at the moment, and the court can decide if they do around that time.
Everybody get that folder that I linked to you on Blackboard? You're all familiar with Blackboard, right? Go. Okay, in here, everybody access that stuff, please, I hope. There's a declaration of counsel. What the declaration of counsel says, it may or may not have been filed in a real case, says, we can't fully respond to this motion because we haven't done discovery yet. We have to do discovery. Okay? So 56 gives you the opportunity to do that. And 56D gives you the opportunity. All right, yeah, keep going. Questions about any of that stuff so far? Good? Yes?
So, I'm just kind of, Rule 56 responds to the fact if motion for summary judgment is filed as a response to a complaint.
Anytime a motion for summary judgment is filed.
Even after discovery is done.
Anytime a motion, yes. Yeah. And now you're making a strained argument. If you add your declaration and say, oh, actually, we didn't see this argument from the defense coming, and we need to do more discovery. you're gonna have a tougher time having a court buy into that at that stage of the litigation than you would if you got hit with a motion for summary judgment before the close of discovery. Right? You just realized we didn't answer this question. What's the latest you can file a motion for summary judgment? Oh, you have something else. Go ahead.
So if the defense brings motion for summary judgment earlier, they admitted to the facts and they left because there's therefore making no difference to you because everyone agrees on that.
That's something that you can argue. That's something that you can argue. But if a defendant is bringing a motion for summary judgment early on, basically what they're saying is that the plaintiff can't prove their case. And early on, that's likely to be true, because you haven't done any discovery. Right? That's essentially what a defendant is saying. Bring an early motion for summary judgment. You don't have enough evidence to prove your case. And your response is, well, yeah, I don't have enough evidence to prove my case. We haven't done any discovery yet. Give me a chance to do discovery. And that's what the 56D declaration is all about. Okay? What's the latest you can file a motion for summary judgment?
Anytime until 30 days after the postponed discovery.
Anytime until 30 days after the postponed discovery. Or, the court says otherwise, when the court says so. Okay? You will have laid out all of those details in the federal court anyway, in that handy dandy case management plan that we talked about after your 26F conference. Everybody remember that? Okay? So think about it this way. Motion to dismiss says, if the facts are the way the plaintiff says they are, the case goes away. Okay? Even if it's exactly the way the plaintiff says. Summary judgment says, if the facts as shown in discovery are not enough to create a genuine issue of material fact, the case goes away. Jessica's question. What if there are different interpretations of the same facts? You've done all this fact finding, you've done your discovery, you've taken your depositions, you've got documents in front of you, you say this document means one thing, and the other side says, no, this document means something completely different. Yeah?
Then I don't think you can file a motion for summary judgment because that's dispute of material fact.
That's what the argument is. Right? How's the court supposed to evaluate that? Hypothetical, I give you here something that I recently briefed. Right? The easiest way to understand this. You have one eyewitness, but physical evidence that doesn't corroborate what that eyewitness says. Okay? So one eyewitness who was a defendant, police officer shows up on the scene, shoots the plaintiff, right? Shoots and kills him. Plaintiff's estate files an action against the police officer. Now you have one version of events. Only one. Because there's only one eyewitness. That's the defendant. Does this happen? You bet it happens. The defendant says, he was charging at me with a knife. It was coming right for him. I had no choice but to open fire. Forensic evidence, right? Forensic evidence suggests that plaintiff was shot in the back. So now you have two competing versions of the same set of facts. Two competing versions of the same set of facts. How's the court supposed to look at that? What's the court supposed to do with that? There's two competing versions of discovery. Turns out two competing versions of the same set of facts. The defendant moves for summary judgment. Saying there's no genuine issue of material fact. There's only one eyewitness here. He says he's being charged out with a knife. Case law clearly says that you can shoot somebody if they're charged out with a knife. What's your response as a plaintiff? Go ahead.
I didn't look at facts in light of those errors from non-moving party.
That's right. I think you're reading his stat really hard. This is really important. You're reading my selection. The court is going to look at the evidence, supposed to look at the evidence, right, on summary judgment, in a light that's the most favorable to the non-moving party, drawing all reasonable inferences in favor of the non-moving party. That's how the court is supposed to look at it. Does that make sense? That's more magic language. That's the good stuff you need to be able to draft motions for summary judgment and respond to them. You like magic language. Okay? Come back to that in a second. What do you think goes into these motions for summary judgment? Pay attention here. You may need it. How do you think you're going to structure this? If you were going to outline this for me, just the parts, the components of your motion for summary judgment, what would they be? Start with Same facts in the next. What else? What are your other sections? How do you build with this? Okay?
There may be a standard review.
Standard review. Oh, so that's what it said. Standard review. Remember that from last year? Remember standard review? No, you just blocked it out of your mind? Wasn't that fun? Standard review is fun. What else? What other component? Huh? Argument. Yeah. What goes in argument? Case law. Anything case law and facts? Remember? Lawyering skills. Remember that? Long time ago. Long time ago. What else?
You know the section that talks about what summary judgment is?
That's going to basically be your standard review. We'll talk about it throughout in your argument. But that's essentially what your standard review is. Come on. What else?
Certificate of service.
Certificate of service. Yeah, okay. Good. I like it.
Signature block.
Signature block. Well, you've really been paying attention. What else?
You know, like subparts of your argument, like the organized argument?
Sure. Yeah. The relief you're seeking, like specifically? I would say something about that. Again, your conclusion or your argument section, for sure. Grant summary judgment or don't grant summary judgment.
Oh, the order?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe. Check your local rules. Or what else? What else might you attach to these? Yeah.
Documents are actually to say.
Yeah. maybe you attach some exhibits to this thing because you're a competent practitioner, right? Maybe you add some stuff to your motion for summary judgment or to your response to the motion for summary judgment, right? Why do you need to add stuff? The rule tells you that you have to make references to the record if you want to show that there is or is not a genuine dispute of material fact here. You have to rely on that record. You'll have to put those pieces of the record right in front of the court's face. If you have, we talked about this before, if you have interrogatory responses that you receive from the other side, can you just say in the body of your argument, oh, well, we got these interrogatory responses from the other side, and here's what they say? Are those responses in the court's record? Probably not. Probably not, right? In most jurisdictions, you're not going to file those interrogatory responses with the court. You've got them, but you need to put them in front of the judge's face. Attach them to your summary judgment motion or your response motion. Okay? There it is. I'll give you a couple examples in that folder too. Just stuff that I pulled off last one. A motion and a response that didn't file with the federal court. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward stuff. Not in your jurisdiction, so don't rely on it too heavily. Just so you can see how these things are laid out. Again, check your local rule because your mileage may vary. Right. So, standard review. Remember that. Standard review, if you get it for your appellate problem, basically says this is how the appellate court should look at what the trial court did. Remember that? Somewhat traumatized by that? This is how the appellate, this is confusing, right? Standard review in an appellate brief says this is how this court, Court of Appeals, should look at what the trial court did. How much deference are we going to give the trial court? Standard review in the trial court says something different. Standard review in the trial court says what? Tell me in plain English. What's your standard review? Go ahead. Original jurisdiction. No? Does that mean no jurisdiction?
No.
How could it be the no?
That's not what I remember.
I appreciate your candor. I can make a no vote. Think about it this way. The Court of Appeals can look at something de novo. Meaning, everything that the trial court did, we're just going to crumble that in a little ball and toss it over our shoulder. We don't care. We're going to look at everything with fresh on it. That's de novo review. Trial court can't do that. There's no other court to base it on. What's your standard review going to look like for a motion for summary judgment?
Use of discretion.
Use of discretion. Same thing. You guys are stuck in appellate court lane. Use of discretion is the trial court abused its discretion on a call about evidence or something like that. Right? Trial court did something wrong. They were allowed to do a lot, but they went too far. You know,
What
do you mean by that?
That the complaint, that the complaint doesn't have, the plaintiff bears burden of proving the material fact and he doesn't have that, so therefore on this complaint.
Okay, we're getting there.
Okay.
We're getting there. Standard review is telling the court how they want to evaluate all the stuff that's in your argument section. Okay? Standard review is basically going to tell the court, this is how you should look at this case. And the summary judgment standard review is going to be, this is how you look at this case under Rule 56. Okay? It's really that simple. So court, you have to determine whether or not there's a genuine issue of material fact. Yeah, okay. And how do you determine whether or not there's a genuine issue of material fact? You evaluate the evidence in a light most favorable to the non-moving party. We're going to try again. You're telling the court, your standard of review, this is how you look at this case. Okay? This is how you look at it under Rule 56. And under Rule 56, you, court, have to determine whether or not there's a genuine issue of material fact. And how do you determine whether or not there's a genuine issue of material fact? You look at the evidence in a light most favorable to the non-moving party. Feel a little better. This is a standard of review that was drafted in a plaintiff's motion for summary judgment. Okay? It's a little more unusual, but it's the kind of thing you run into with your standard. That's all you're telling the court. This is how you evaluate this. This is how you're supposed to evaluate everything that comes after the standard of review section. Now I'm going to convince you that there is no genuine issue of material fact, even if you look at the evidence in the light most favorable to the other side. Got it? Easy, right? Can you do it? Sure you can. Sure you can. The argument section is just going to say, the moving party says there's no genuine issue of material fact, which are either side. Look at the evidence, Judge. We clearly win. The other side says, no, you don't. No, you don't. There really is a genuine issue of material fact here, and I'm going to tell you why. And that's where you're doing all the stuff you learned how to do in first year, connecting the laws and facts, and making your case. We'll come back to this hypo, because I want you to get started on the thing that I need you to get started on for real, okay? We'll do the hypo on Friday. You are the plaintiff. You get hit with the motion for summary judgment that is currently sitting in your folder on Blackboard. That motion for summary judgment is a terrible motion for summary judgment. It is awful. I asked my TA to draft the worst motion for summary judgment. So it's a sitting duck for you. It's easy, right? You get to respond to it and say, this is the dumbest thing I've ever read. Standard of review is wrong. the argument is totally wrong, maybe even a statement of fact is wrong, I don't know. Here's how we're going to do this. In this group folder, if you have any last year, you know kind of how it is. So I'm not attempting to do group space, so we'll see. You have 7 different documents here, okay? I'm going to assign you one of these documents to be in. When you're in, everybody should be able to get in and edit this all at the same time. You know how this works, right? Create a new link, so you got it. What?
Who's like maybe not all the
Well, we know. It's all right. So you should be able to get in, 6 or 7 into a time, and do these all at once, right? So maybe a situation where you have to make them scroll and but we'll see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, group 1, okay? 1, 2, 3, 7, group 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. What do you want to know this now? Now, Professor Arnold has the ability, he's here, he's going to evaluate your work. He's got the ability to fail you instantly.
What?
I can't. Sorry.
You actually do this?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 7, 7. Group 4, right? I'm not. All this whole row, okay? Group 5, right? So this whole row, makes it easy. Oh, no, no, 5, 6. You guys just take a group of 8 for group 7, okay? Right, tell me if you can't get into your group for some reason. So here's what I'd like to try to knock out today. Give me a standard of review and a rough outline of how you're going to proceed with this response, okay? You can knock out a standard of review real quick. How? Because you're going to plagiarize.
Yes.
Go in and find a great standard of review that's already been filed in some other brief someplace else, okay? And plop that in there, yes. 7. Yeah. There's 8 of you.
So, anybody like Who is that?
Ready for registration. You rate that.
You want to put it in? Standard of review. Good second. And outlining the rest of your, call upon your assertions, individually, how can you look at your life, being able to finish their concentration? I expect you to follow my time. Attach these, I revisit. Cites to case law and the record. And halfway through the party. We are going to look at the last video of the video.
Yeah.
This is the outline. What? I was working diligently. Is it okay? But I think is that fine? I think the one that was in the example was like from the wait, sorry. Oh, you said this is the you could like it's not right. Wow.